Talking today about two powerful things that will create a fulfilling life. One of those is having a consistent sense of personally growing, like growing in your personal development in who you are, knowing that you are making progress in that. And the second thing is being in contribution, so living a life of contribution. And that is one of the 8 areas of the life wheel. That's something I talk a lot about. My name is Tally. I am a life and personal development coach. I work with leaders and influencers to create lives of joy, of overflow of joy, so that they can create lives of profound impact in the world. And today we are here talking about being in contribution and having that kind of impact. And so one of the 8 areas of the life wheel, that's one of the things I use with all of my one-on-one clients. It's the basis for what we do in our group coaching program called Catalyst. So it's one of 8 super significant areas to look at in life to evaluate how am I feeling in terms of satisfaction level with this area of my life. So contribution, it's being in overflow in any resource that you have. It's really looking at all of the resources that you have and how are you using those in service on behalf of other people, because there's so much life in that. I'm coming off of a weekend where I think there were like 20 some coaches, and we all volunteered our time from Friday morning until Sunday night, and it was completely not paid. It was just a volunteer experience. They were long 12-hour days. So it was definitely intense. I think that there were a couple of nights that I only got maybe 4 hours of sleep, and all of us being sleep deprived, being, intense. I mean, it was intense. We were definitely all tired, but we all felt so alive. Every single one of us was just like, oh my gosh, it's hard to sleep. It's like we were just so excited about the results that we got to be part of in the lives of 130 students who were in the room. So I will say, even if it's tiring, being in contribution is so incredibly life-giving. And I want you guys to think about any resource that you have. It doesn't have to be just time. Like I was giving the example of time. That would be one of my resources that I have. It can also be financial. It can also be a strength that you have. We all have strengths and gifts, and it might be one of your strengths that you have, which could be a lot of different things. So it could be using skill set that you have, like a friend of mine who is also my marketing guy, Rob Maccabee. He is every week in contribution with the skills that he has for different nonprofit organizations or charities. He's always giving the gifts that he has of, let's see how we can get the word out about that, really like work on your brand for it, whatever. He's always in contribution to things. So that's like a skill set that he has. It could also be gifts like creativity. So a lot of you are incredibly creative and would really add so much to a team who's trying to create an event or a product or a service to be in contribution for other people. And you could really offer your creativity. So it could be time, it could be money. A lot of my clients are business owners who just are fantastic at making really good money. And so for them, that's a way that they can partner with people who have vision for something significant that really offers the world something, and they can be, the financial support so that the people who are on the ground actually doing it can just focus on creating whatever it is, the impact that they're wanting to have. So time, finances, ways of being, strengths that you have, skill sets, experience that you have. Maybe you've been through something in your life, and maybe you've overcome some challenges, and just coming alongside of other people who are going through something similar to you can make all the difference. Like offering just perspective or emotional support. Another resource is wisdom. Like there are a lot of us who have been through things and just have so much wisdom to give, so much wisdom to offer people. And that's a huge resource that we have that sometimes we don't necessarily think through as being an incredible resource. But any resource that you have, if you are giving it in contribution, I'm going to step back in the shade. I feel like the sun is really, really bright here and maybe hard to see. Any resource that you have, time, money, energy, creativity, wisdom, experience, all of those things, when you give out of who you are, it is life-giving, not only for the people who you're touching and getting to impact through what you're giving, but it's incredibly, incredibly giving, life-giving for you. So I really want to encourage you to think through, like, what are the strengths, what are the assets, what are the things that you have in your life that you could be giving and in overflow about. And it really is one of the key things that leads to an incredibly fulfilling life. So first of all, I'd love for you to comment below, like, what is something that you feel like you could give, that you could be in overflow around this week? Something simple. Maybe it's a step towards something bigger. Like, I'm going to offer to serve on this committee or board or group, or I've been having thoughts about this. I'm going to give feedback to so-and-so that really might, make a huge difference in what they're up to. I'm going to give money to this thing I really believe in. I want to volunteer some time and go down and serve this thing I really have a heart for. Maybe it's more like mentoring someone who could just really use somebody to get together and grab coffee with, and you can just speak in, encourage, pour into someone's life. Like, what is it for you that you can be in contribution? And I promise you, you will be filled because of it. It's July 3rd, so getting ready for Red, White, and Boom here in Columbus, which is like one of the nation's biggest fireworks shows. And last year, a bunch of us went down to Red, White, and Boom with posters that said free hugs. We just went around like offering free hugs to people. And I cannot tell you, at the end of the day, we all felt so filled up. Just because it made some people cry. Some people were like, of course there were people who were like, I don't know what you're doing, but no thank you. Other people were like, you just made my entire day. You have no idea how much this means to me. Other people, it made them cry. It was just so healing and beautiful and powerful to have a perfect stranger come up to them and just offer love. And we just said, like, in this environment where there's so much suspicion and cynicism and like, being afraid of each other, we just really want to offer love in that place. And so it was incredibly life-giving. So there are so many ways to just give back. Some of my students from the training that I was mentioning, it's called Next Level, by the way. It's a training that I went through and have coached for a volunteer time back into 8 or 9 times now, because it's so powerful. But some of my students from this weekend, they were like, I have no idea how 3 days, I can be all of a sudden shifted into having my focus not on myself and all the things that are going wrong and how I'm a victim, but really have my focus in being a giver and being in overflow and focusing out, and like even just making eye contact with strangers and smiling at them makes such a difference for them and for me. It's crazy. Like, small things. It doesn't even have to be huge, but makes a difference. Just giving kindness, giving compassion, giving love to other people that they work with. Like, some of them were like, I've been hugging everybody that I work with, and they're all like, you're so happy, what's going on with you? So it can be simple things or it can be bigger things, but each person who's watching this right now, you have gifts and strengths and so much beauty to give the world that will make an impact and a difference for somebody else and will cause you to feel more alive, I promise. So type something in that you can give back, that you're going to choose to offer this week. It can be simple, it can be bigger. And then if this is something that you want to lean into more, that you want to do some more exploring around, you would like support in, this is one of 8 areas in the life wheel that we address in the group coaching program called Catalyst that I run. And we're going to be starting up the next Catalyst August 11th. They're on Sundays from 3 to 4:30, and it's for 8 weeks. It's an 8-week course where you get to look at every single area of your life, from relationships to your health, deepening spirituality and inner life, your personal development and growth. How do you refuel? So we're talking about being a contribution today, but also how do you get refueled so that you can be in overflow. It looks at your love and romance, your friends and family, your health and wellness. It looks at finances, your career, like calling, what is it that you're made for in the world. So looking at every single area of life, we do a life wheel assessment where you get really clear about where am I right now, how satisfied am I in each area, and then where do I want to be? Like what would be a 10 out of 10 for me in this area? So it's all about getting clarity about where you are, where you want to go, and then reverse engineering that to create a life that you just love living. So if that would support you and you want to know more about that, I'll post a link here and you can jump on and check it out and see if it's for you. But would love to have you. There is a cutoff on how many people I'm going to take. So if it's something you want to do, jump in, and it is an 8-week course. Would love to have you. So hopefully this is a blessing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and watching it and thinking about all the things that are in you and how you can be a contribution. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed giving it, and really hope this makes a difference for your week. Post about how you're going to get in contribution and be in overflow and find joy for yourself and others.